Hey guys, how you doing today? What I have for you today in this video is I want to give you guys my thoughts about Apple being forced to turn on their FM radios built inside their devices. If you guys aren't aware of this, which actually I just found this out for the first time, and the link to this article that I got this information from will be in the description below. But basically, smartphones these days are coming out with built-in FM radios in them. And with those FM radios, obviously you can use them to listen to the radio, listen to the forecast, and then possibly listen to any music that is authorized to be put out there on the radio, and that they did that legally. Well, here's the thing. Some of these manufacturers have the decision to turn off the FM radios because of certain circumstances, such as like in this case, like Apple, for example. Because the FM radio is not required since there's Apple Music. And then as far as the additional reasonings with other manufacturers, I have no idea what they are. It could be something similar to Apple's reasoning. However, they are being forced to turn on the FM radios. Now, why is this? Basically because if there were to be no service during a natural disaster, such as like hurricanes or tornadoes or bad weather conditions, and maybe the cell towers might have gone down, because we have been in certain weather conditions where you wind up having no service at all, or the service just gets really slow and buggy. And basically the FM radio, with that being enabled, provides as US citizens or Americans the ability to still listen to the weather forecast or any updates on a certain natural disaster if there is no internet connection, no cellular service anywhere. It works just like a radio back then, and possibly with the radios that are being operable today. Obviously, I don't use the radio at all because it just never suits my purpose, nor do I even require it. But this could be one of those cases where it may be useful in case if power were to go out in my house and I can't watch the TV for the news. Not that I have cable TV anyway, but I still got the internet. But then again, of course, if the power were to go out of my house, obviously I have no internet access with my home Wi-Fi, and even if there were cellular service, it could be very limited, or I would have no service at all. Then that's when the radio would come into play as well. And with Apple being forced to turn on the FM radios, obviously Apple wants to try to keep that off due to the services that they were provided, or they are providing to their customers. And not only that, what's really getting Apple to push out this move, or how they're going about pushing Apple, is accusing them of not being considerate or not being concerned about the safetyness of people. And Apple's response was, of course, safety is a big concern on their part. And we've seen Steve Jobs and Tim Cook, as well as the other Apple employees that have taken the stage on the WWDC events, where they are understanding of people's safety, and that's why they have all these security features implemented into their devices. And the fact that they're being accused of not being concerned about the safety by just not having a radio enabled on their phone, well, in Apple's view, they see that as not true at all, and they feel as if they can't be accused of that, because first of all, you have the password policies or the password methods to keep everyone's data secured and encrypted as well. And even they have to fight with some of the government officials that they are not going to decrypt certain data just for investigation purposes, because whatever people encrypt it up to iCloud or have things stored on there, it's the customer's personal information. Apple doesn't want to know anything about it. And I'm thinking that when they see that they're being accused of not being considerate or not concerned about people's safety, then that's when Apple is like, okay, this is the last straw. We can't take that anymore. We're going to respond to this right now, because safety is a big concern on our part. It's just done in a certain way where the radio may not be required. I don't know what the whole reasoning is, but I can bet you right now that Apple is very frustrated with this. And I would imagine that they're pretty ticked off, because the way they see it is that all the work that they've done in their software updates, in their hardware designs, they do what they can to make customer safety a top priority. And the same goes for all manufacturers as well. Each manufacturer just has a different way of doing things. Apple is being picked on because apparently it was found out that they were the ones that don't enable or don't turn on the FM radio in their devices. And to the government officials, they see this as a bad thing. Now, what do you guys think about this? Do you guys think this radio inside the iPhones or the Apple's devices is a requirement for Apple to finally go through? Well, if the decision is based off on, like, I guess one side and then another side. So as for me, I'm thinking for myself that this is a little bit undecided because I do see both sides in a way. The only thing was, like, even if power were to go out, you should still have at least a little bit of service. But then if there was no service at all, would that radio even be required anyway? Because if service were to go down, wouldn't the radio go down as well? I mean, obviously, maybe the radio won't be operated from the internet or the cell towers. But if I recall correctly, with the old style radios back in the days where you had the antenna coming out of the units themselves, well, that antenna had to be all the way up so that way you can get a better radio signal, right? So then how is this going to work out for a smartphone if you don't have that manual antenna band to extend? I mean, maybe the built-in antennas inside the phone are already strong enough, but then again, how reliable can technology be? Because it's not fully reliable yet. Otherwise, we'd be relying on it all the time and say, you know what, this is perfect, we have no problems with it whatsoever. Whereas we do run into problems because it's not done the way we want it, it's not done in a specific way that we want it. And of course, there's a whole bunch of reasons why technology is not reliable and why sometimes we still rely on the old methods to doing certain tasks. So for me, I'm undecided on this part, but what do you guys think? Leave a comment down below. Thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe, rate, comment. Also check out the description below for my social media links, Twitter and Instagram. I'll see you in the next one. Take care, everybody.